This call is being recorded.
Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good, 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 good. Awesome. Well, thank you for volunteering. Really appreciate it. So just real quick, like how this is going to go is I'm just going to like laser in, ask you some questions about your goals, your vision, and then at the end, I'm going to kind of explain what I did, so people can listen and learn from that. And then if you have any questions about that, you're welcome to ask them. Sound good?
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, great. And then, yeah, if you could post over like the next week sort of what shows up for you after having done this, that would be really helpful for everybody else as well.
Sure.
Awesome. All right. So tell me a little bit about what your vision is for your business.
So right now I'm pretty much just starting out.
Okay.
And my vision is I would love to coach individually, but also focus on corporate wellness.
Okay.
So I'd like to work with corporations on employee health and probably lead groups and do workshops.
Okay.
I really love to like present and teach in that sort of way, I guess, and facilitate. So,
Okay.
so I'd like to incorporate some of that.
Cool. Okay. And why is it important for you to both do individual coaching and corporate wellness?
I like the intimacy of one-on-one coaching. I really enjoy it. I think it's really fulfilling. But I also like the energy of a group as well.
Okay. Okay. Okay, great. Okay. And so, and how much money do you want to be making with both of these together in your long-term vision?
My long-term vision, I would say 100,000.
Okay. A year?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you reach that bigger vision, that goal, how do you imagine that you'll feel day to day in your business?
I would imagine that I would feel I guess successful, confident.
Anything else? How will you feel when you'll be making $100,000 a year?
I think excellent.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably definitely less stressed about finances, or possibly stressed about finances in a little bit of a different way. I don't know.
Well, tell me what that means. Tell me what that means.
I think, when you get to a certain goal, you do come to it with these expectations, and I think sometimes maybe getting to that goal can feel either a little overwhelming or like, what do I do now?
Okay. Okay. Well, how do you want to feel when you get to $100,000 a year?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Less
do you
stress.
want to feel? Yes, less stress. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I would say definitely less stress.
Okay. So maybe like more ease.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Great. Okay. More ease. Anything else, like more freedom, or like what else is $100,000 a year? Like, what does that mean to you in your life versus like what you have now?
Yeah. It definitely means more freedom to do things that are fun or that are kind of on my bucket list that I've always wanted to do. It means not working a million hours a week and still being able to, provide for my family and pay off some debt and just, be able to focus on a career that I love, but also having a lot more fun and having a lot more time to do that.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. Okay, great. And so we're trying to get to $100,000 a year. You're just starting out. You want to do both coaching individually and focusing on corporate wellness. what's the very first step for you? Like, what's something that you can do over the next week that's going to move you in that direction?
I can start putting together, like, I have a basis, like a foundation of a talk, but
Okay.
I haven't really gone through it yet. So that's probably my first step is to do that. And then
Okay.
after that would be like reaching out to somebody to actually present it.
Okay. Okay, great. And so can you get like the title and the bullet points and a person to actually reach out to? Is that something you can do within the next week or no?
Probably.
Okay. Okay. Does that sound like a good goal to start with for 1 week?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. All right, so kind of where you go from here is, you will do those steps, and then what's going to happen is you're going to bump up against, where do you not feel successful? Where do you not feel excellent? Where do you not feel confident? Where do you not feel ease? Where do you not feel freedom? Where do you start working 1 million hours a week? And so you're going to bump up against the things that you think you're going to get when you reach $100,000 a year, when you think you build a successful business. And you're going to see what shows up between you and actually feeling how you want to feel over the next week. And the very first step is practicing the mindfulness around it so that you can see that creating what you want ultimately and the doing of the creating, you can shift that to make sure that you actually enjoy that day to day. So that when you actually reach that goal that you want, you are actually feeling more ease. You're not, like you said, feeling possibly stressed in a different way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to break down now kind of what I did, and I did it super fast with you, right? Like if you are coaching somebody, you can do it that fast, but honestly, like you may want to spend a little bit more time with people. So I'm just going to break down like what I did here. So the very first thing I did was start with the vision. Now, some people have a lot clearer vision. Some people have a less clear vision. When people have a less clear vision, what you can do instead of asking them what their vision, their goal is you can get a better sense of what's their life like right now and what's not working for them. And so you can kind of like back into that vision by kind of saying like, let's start with what's not working and let's start with like your vision being the opposite of what's not working. So you can start with that. Now, the second thing I did was I dug into that a little bit more. Again, you can kind of keep pulling at that. I got a little bit more specific. I didn't get super specific, but you can get really specific with people. Why does she like the one-on-one coaching? What is it about the energy of a group that's exciting? What's the feeling that's going to happen there? I got the specifics of the number, the amount of money that she wants to be making in long term, and how that's going to feel. And I loved, how you, Sarah, you were aware that it might be stressful in a different way. And what I did there, though, was I went back and I said, well, how do you want it to make you feel, right? So when you do that, you can start to back into, okay, this is how I want to feel along the journey. This is how she wants to feel when she gets there, versus like, it's going to be pretty bad if she's there and she's still stressed out in a different way. So we kind of got down into that nitty gritty, and then we asked, how do you want to feel? When people are a little bit vague in terms of like, fantastic, right? I try to get people to be more specific. Like, what does fantastic look like? Is that energized? Is that lit up? Is that fulfilled? What does that mean? When people say things like what they don't want, like Sarah said, less stressed, I actually ask them to flip it into what does that mean? Like, what's the opposite? Is that more ease? Because you do want them to get to that, like, what is it that they want to feel instead? So again, when they're going through that journey of getting to their goal, are they actually bringing ease? It's very hard to have not stress when you're going to a goal, but you can bring ease. And so you want to, keep checking in with yourself there and have your clients look at making sure that they're bringing in the positive emotion and not the negative emotion. The other thing here was that I got her to break it down into something really specific that could be done in the next week. Now, I'm going to talk more about this in the very last class that I'm doing, but part of what you're going to want to do with people is you're going to want to have a framework to give them to help them have a mirror. So, Sarah said she wants to do a foundation of a talk and reach out to somebody to actually present that. Well, for me, like with my clients in business, I have a bunch of steps that happen even before all of that to make sure that the talk title is correct. It's actually the right person that should be reaching out to begin with. And so we did it as an example here because, we can't go through all that right now, but you can give people like really specific mirrors and things that they can accomplish in a week's time that's going to help them see, like, where do I bump up against not feeling ease in this journey, not feeling successful or confident in this journey, to help them have mirrors and very specific concrete things to do this week, right? Like, but I even had her break it down into, can you do a talk title, bullet points, and reach out to one specific person? So these are things that she can follow up with us in a week and say, not necessarily, again, the point is not, did I do them? Yeah, you kind of need to start the process of doing them because you're not going to learn anything if you don't. But the process is also to see, like, how did it feel in doing that? And if you don't try to do it, you're not going to know anything. If you bumped up against a ton of resistance, did your clients come and ask for help when they bumped up against that resistance? And then that gives you something real to work with, versus like if they set really nebulous goals that you can't track, you can't measure, then it's like, oh, okay, they have nothing to bump up against and nothing to come get coaching on for that resistance. So that's kind of the explanation of sort of that laser in coaching on goals. You obviously, like I said, you can do this. You can stretch this out a lot longer with people. You can go into a lot more detail, but I wanted to give a really lasered in version of what that would look like. So, Sarah, do you have any questions about that process and any thoughts?
No, I love that though.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for being my volunteer, and keep me posted in the group and keep us posted on what shows up this week around, like, what resistance. Does any resistance show up, or how does it feel when you think about reaching out to that person to actually present and to create that topic, that talk topic? And that's going to show you, are you able to do that with ease, with success, with confidence? And I wouldn't, just so you know, for you, Sarah, and also for people and your clients, like, you want to expect resistance here, right? Like, if it was easy, they'd already be doing it. So we want to really normalize resistance here. The point is not to not have resistance. The point is to go deeper into the resistance, to be able to dig into it, to look at it, to examine it, and to work with it in a new way so that it no longer stops us. But if we ignore that resistance here, if we just go after, if we just keep pursuing what we want to pursue, it's all going to add up eventually, and it's not going to feel good. And so they may or may not, they're probably not going to get that external goal that they wanted in the first place. But even if they did, it's not going to feel, the getting's not going to feel good. The getting to there is not going to feel good, and the actual getting is not going to feel good either. So, all right. Well, thank you again, Sarah, and keep us posted.
I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.